Hey everyone, today I'm going to be going over why I generally prefer desolate and empty planets in No Man's Sky. Now this is just going to be a short quick video, but I just wanted to explain my reasoning and why usually I tend to settle on these dead planets. So to begin with, I'm just going to say that generally there is a pretty big performance boost on dead planets. If you're looking at the planet I'm showing on screen right now, there's basically no planets. There's some minerals, but there's no animals, nothing really to load in, so the game runs very solid on these empty planets. And of course, No Man's Sky is a pretty well optimized game, so this isn't much of a problem if you're on like a decent PC or console, but regardless, the performance boost is nice. And then next, I just wanted to say that these dead planets tend to have a very good peaceful atmosphere that a lot of other planets seem to lack. Now, don't get me wrong, lush planets with a lot of flora, a lot of fauna can be peaceful. Like, I'll show one on screen that I really like and that I do have a base on. Like, I don't think there's any harmful animals on this planet or anything. Like, you can generally go on a walk in this planet and have a good time, but the atmosphere of being on a planet completely alone, regardless of if there's AI animals or not, just being completely alone is a really great atmosphere that you just can't really get from a planet with a ton of animals and plants on it and stuff like that. There's also just generally just less visual clutter on these desolate planets, and it makes it a lot easier to find spots to build bases. They're also easier to navigate. And a big thing too is that if you want a planet to farm resources, like let's say you need copper, you need to fly around and find copper, generally it's easier to me to do it on a empty planet. Like, there's not going to be any harmful creatures that are trying to attack you. It's going to be easier to find spots to land, and of course the performance boost as well. And keep in mind that when I'm talking about a dead or empty planet, I'm talking like it is in the game called like a desolate planet, because these planets, you're not really going to see ships flying over. There's not going to be any stations on these planets. There's not going to be any settlements, nothing like that. It is just going to be a completely empty planet for you to do whatever you'd like to do in. And obviously, with the nature of No Man's Sky, you can do that on a planet with NPCs and animals and things like that. But that brings me to my next point. There is a very unique, lonely beauty to desolate planets in No Man's Sky. When you go around from planet to planet in No Man's Sky, 90% of the time, these planets are full of life. They have grass, they have plants, things like that. They're just always going to be populated. They even have sentinels, things to make them feel alive. And generally, this is a good thing. The game would probably be a lot more boring if most planets were just completely empty. But the fact that these empty planets are as rare as they are makes them feel special to me. You know, I love space, like real space, and that's why I play games like No Man's Sky, and that's also why I play games like Elite Dangerous and Space Engine, because those games are realistic representations of space. However, I generally prefer the gameplay of No Man's Sky. But sometimes I want to feel like I'm in a realistic representation of space while having the gameplay and mechanics of No Man's Sky. When I'm on a desolate planet like I'm showing on the screen right now, it almost feels like I'm on the moon or on Mars or something like that. Just that feeling of like being on this world that isn't meant for human life is really cool to me. But then again, I'm not saying I hate lush planets or anything like that. I mean, looking at the planet on screen right now, walking around, seeing animals, seeing these epic views with the really pretty atmosphere and lighting that Hello Games have created, obviously it's a really cool experience that you can't get from games like Space Engine or Elite Dangerous, and that is what makes No Man's Sky stand out. But I just made this video to say, like, I think you should give desolate planets a chance. You may find that the emptiness is actually a pretty unique atmosphere to live in, and you might find yourself enjoying it. So yeah, anyway, that's gonna do it for this video. I know it's a short one. I'll have more like planet showcase videos coming soon, but yeah, anyways, thanks for watching.